Hiring a great sales rep is one thing, but keeping them is an entirely different game. If your closers are constantly bouncing, ghosting, or asking for a raise every 90 days, it's not a talent problem, it's a systems and culture problem. In today's episode, I'm going to show you exactly how to build the retention rhythms, feedback systems, and rep experience that makes your sales team want to grow with you and not just leave for the next best offer. Here's what most founders do not realize. Salespeople aren't just driven by money. They are driven by momentum, feedback, recognition, and even growth. If your reps feel isolated, unsupported, or even unclear on how to level up, then they leave the business. Sometimes it's for a higher paying gig, but other times it's because they're just bored or even worse, they're actually burnt out. So if you want to build a sales team that actually sticks, then you need to build a culture that grows people and not just revenue. So in today's episode, here's everything we're going to cover. Number one, the three biggest reasons that sales reps leave even when they're getting paid. Number two, how to create a growth environment that keeps closers engaged. And finally, number three, the exact rhythms and systems that I have used to retain top tier A-level player talent for over 12 months. So if you've ever felt like you're having to rebuild your team every single quarter, then this is going to be the fix. My name is Dylan Starr, and this is the Sell for Scale podcast. So I want to tell you a story about how a good friend of mine came to me. I've trained him in sales, and we've also been on teams together long term. So he is what I would consider top tier A-level talent, right? He understands how to build teams. He has leadership qualities. He's great at sales. He's been doing it for a very, very long time. In fact, he even has an engineer mindset, so he can think macro like process. And years ago, he was on a team that's doing 10 million plus per year. And what was super fascinating is when he came to me and asked me for advice, he's like, hey man, I'm on this team. I'm closing deals, but there's only about 3 or 4 of us. And for some reason, we're only getting about 3, maybe 5 calls per week. Now, mind you, he was selling high ticket, and their even higher premium offer was around $40,000 to $50,000. And when he looked at all the numbers of the spreadsheet and calculated everything, come to find out, he not only had the highest close rate on the team, but he also had the most cash collected. And he was even selling the premium 40 to 50K offer more than anyone else on the team. So he did the math and the breakdown and went to his sales manager or the leader of the team, right? Who's overseeing it, not the business owner, but the leader, and showed him the numbers. And he's like, listen, if I open up my calendar and you guys increase lead flow, I know everybody else is part-time and they enjoy that, but I'm okay with taking more calls. He did the math and knew how much money he would make and where he can grow within the business. And he showed them, listen, if you give me all these premium calls that are coming in, here's my close rate, here's my average cash collected, here's how much more revenue it will actually build the business. So he did the math and showed the value to the company. And immediately he got shot down by the sales leader, which I'll be honest with you, as a VP of sales myself in multiple roles, I find that very, very weird. But what the sales leader ended up telling him was super fascinating. And he's like, honestly, everyone on the team, we like to keep things simple. We like to make it to where reps aren't overwhelmed, and we keep it very part-time because most people on this team is happy making 7 to 10, sometimes 12,000 a month just being part-time. Now, we have to realize if you're watching this is that when somebody's an A-level player, okay, they yearn for growth. If they don't feel like they're growing, they feel like they are dying, okay? And he wanted to take more calls. He can do the math and realize, oh my gosh, I can make $30,000, even $50,000 a month on this team if they would just feed me leads. So at their next event, he actually goes to the business owner himself and brings it up to him and says, hey man, I calculated all this. I wanted to run something by you. And the business owner's like, oh yeah, just send it over to me in a loom. Just kind of shoved him aside. So he's like, you know what, whatever. He filmed the loom, did the breakdown and everything, waited. And the business owner himself, which by the way, I kind of get it. Like the business owner doesn't really have to be involved in the operations of the business. He just gets to like market. He gets to travel. And honestly, he just enjoys lifestyle. He doesn't really want to do anything with the business. And The downside is what this business owner didn't realize is that he actually hired a very terrible sales leader, someone who had no experience in another team, doesn't know how to build culture, doesn't understand how to look at the numbers of KPI, just wasn't there for growth. Let's call it what it is. He had a bad hire. And because he shot my buddy down, who, again, top closer on the team, most cash collected, guess what my buddy ended up doing? He ended up not staying on the team. And oftentimes, most people come to me and they say, hey, how can I find an A-level player from our organization? Because everyone says they want a killer. But you got to ask yourself one simple question. Are you even able to retain a killer? Because honestly, most businesses aren't even worthy of top-tier A-level talent. They can't handle it. And if you do have a good hire, and if they don't see the perception of growth within your organization, and they don't feel like you as the business owner or the leaders or the hires you have are A-level players themselves, they're not going to want to stay within your organization. That's just common sense because they crave growth. So you really got to ask yourself the question, am I an A-level business owner? Am I hiring leaders who are A-level? Because if they're not, and there's no room for growth, why would an A-level closer or sales rep want to grow and stay within your organization, right? So oftentimes, people don't even realize they've hired good talent, and the business owner, they just screw it up themselves. They have no idea, and they end up pushing talent away because either they're not focused or they're lazy, they don't care about growth. And I get it. Some people want lifestyle businesses. I completely understand that. But if your goal here in this podcast is to actually grow and to eventually scale, and you do want A-level talent, then you have to create a room for growth. So often when I work with founders, they usually have a killer offer and sometimes really good inbound lead flow. And when they go to hire closers, let's say 2 to 3 closers, they'll have them go and hit KPI within the first 30 days. But here's what's interesting after looking at all the data of teams I'm work with. By month 3, all of those closers who came on in the first 30 days that hit KPI were either distracted, already demanding higher compensation, or already looking for other gigs. And then the founders believe that the problem is actually money. Like maybe they're not compensating them enough, or maybe the rep's just not making enough money. But when I go to actually interview those sales reps one-on-one, here's what's fascinating. Here's what they actually say. Number one, they always say they actually felt like they weren't growing within the organization. They couldn't see a clear path of growth, so they just didn't deem it worthy of even staying in the organization to begin with. Number two, they say that they never even got feedback unless they actually missed quota. And again, you got to remember, top tier A-level players love growth. They love feedback. And finally, they all feel like there was no team culture, just a leaderboard. So guess what we did? We went and we installed weekly coaching, peer-led trainings, and real incentives that go beyond just commissions. 3 months later, same team, better results, and nobody leaves. So let's talk about the data on this. According to HubSpot, 43% of sales reps say that lack of career growth is the number one reason why they leave the company. 43%. That's a lot. A Gallup study even found that employees who receive weekly feedback are 3 times more likely to be and stay engaged. Sales teams with peer accountability and coaching rhythms report 22% higher performance and 31% higher retention, according to the Sales Management Association. People only stay where they feel challenged, connected, and supported. Here's what happens when you don't have retention systems in place. Top reps will feel like they've actually hit a ceiling. New reps will not know how to get better. Then everyone works in silos, and team culture ultimately just fades out completely. But when you install coaching rhythms, peer review, and clear promotion paths, reps stay longer, they grow more confident, and they help each other level up. This is how you build a real sales culture and not just a sales team. So here is the 3-part system that I have used to build retention and sales culture at the exact same time. Number 1, we've kind of already discussed it. It's coaching rhythms. These are weekly one-on-one calls where you go over feedback, KPI, and very importantly, mindset check with your reps. It also includes a monthly performance review and a growth plan. But during this growth plan, it's not just, did you actually close? It's more of like, where do you feel like you're actually getting stuck? That way you actually know what it is that they need to focus on and where they can grow. It's very important. Number 2, team accountability and culture. This involves a daily check-in or a leadership post. You can do this within Slack, within Discord, even within your CRMs. This also involves doing peer roleplay or objection handling roundtables at least once a week. And finally, this is the most important part of the accountability and the culture, and that is celebrating all wins, even if they're small, not just revenue. Think about the actions you want your team members to take. Whatever those things are that they must focus on, whatever the habits are, make those the wins. Because by stacking wins on the habits, the revenue will come. But if you only celebrate revenue, then they will get very discouraged because they haven't developed the habits to get to revenue, right? So if you want them to show up more or show up on time, or if you have company values that you know is going to help them with mindset, celebrate those values on your calls and make those the win to further elevate the culture on your team. Publicly post promotion milestones. For example, in my community, when I teach people how to get into closing and eventually become a profit partner. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a profit partner, definitely go back to the previous episode where I mentioned what a profit partner is, how to compensate them. It's, in my opinion, going to be the future of how sales teams are built by actually partnering with the right individuals. But my path for them is closer to team lead and then profit partner. So you want to actually have a path within your organization. So when someone is hired, they know what the clear path is of how they can increase their income, gain more responsibilities, and grow within your organization. And you want to post those every single time to celebrate when someone goes up the career path. Next, you want to let reps self-identify for leadership roles. Let them identify themselves for wanting that role instead of you trying to call it out or force it on them. Now, why do we do this? Because a leader will naturally want to lead. You don't have to force a C player or someone who's a follower to become a leader. Like, leaders will lead naturally because they want to grow. So let your Bs and your As who want to jump into leadership roles, let them come out themselves and identify themselves that way. Then you'll know who to actually go and cherry pick up the growth path. And finally, show them how to earn more through impact and not just closing deals. So remember this, when reps feel like they are on an actual path, then and only then will they stop looking for the next exit. All right, so here's what to do starting today and this week. Set up one coaching rhythm, only one, even if it's only 15 minutes per rep. During this coaching rhythm, just ask the rep, where do you want to grow next? Let the rep tell you where they see themselves wanting to grow. And finally, write down a simple growth path for that rep so they can visually see what it is they need to do and execute on to get to the level of growth they want to. Remember, if we can't see a path of getting there, we're not going to know what to do and what to execute on. It has to be clear. It has to be tangible. But more importantly, it must be achievable. Your reps need a reason to stay beyond just a paycheck. So question, what's your current reps retention rate? Are they staying for longer than 3 to 6 months? If you're struggling with it or if you have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on LinkedIn or on Instagram, and happy to jam on it with you to see what we can do to increase your culture and help with rep retention. And if you found this episode helpful, as always, make sure you subscribe and share it with a friend who possibly wants to go and build a sales team. All right, in this next episode upcoming, we are completely switching gears. Remember how I told you about my friend who was an A-level player, but he didn't stay on the team? He actually moved on with a different team as their VP of sales with profit split because he decided to jump and become a profit partner. And in the next episode, I'm going to walk you through how to actually find and attract real profit partners. These are closers who don't just want commission. They want to actually build and grow with you. We're going to talk about outbound strategy, DM scripts, and how to qualify someone who could own your entire sales department and actually scale it for you. It's going to be a powerful one. I'm very excited. I'll see you on the next episode.